It's the DAZN Boxing Show presented by AutoZone here in San Francisco. It is Barack, Justin. We're getting ready for Haney Prograis on Saturday for the WBC Super Lightweight Championship. And this is Devin Haney's first foray at 140 pounds. We know this. He said he's outgrown 135, already talking about moving up to 147. Then you have Prograis. His comfort weight is 140. Is that an advantage for the reigning champ?
We don't know. We're going to find out on Saturday, but if you base it on what those guys look like next to each other, Devin is so much bigger, so it's safe to say that maybe he was struggling at 135. Maybe he's going to be a lot stronger at 140 pounds. We don't know that. We know Regis can punch at that weight class. He's proven at that weight class. He's champion at that weight class. So I think a lot of questions are going to be answered Saturday. My guess is that we're probably going to see a better version of Devin Haney at 140 when I'm looking at those guys side by side.
We usually don't see too much power difference when it comes to 135 and 140. It's just not enough weight. And then we spoke to Regis at the press conference, and he said, yeah, well, you know, Devin's bigger, but that means nothing. You know, so where everybody's saying, oh, the bigger guy is Regis. That's not the case. You know, it's about the skills that pay the bills and maybe who's the stronger guy.
This may be an easy tee-up based on what we saw with Regis Prograis over the summer in New Orleans. But look, guys fight in their hometown all the time. It's part of the reason why the shows do so well. I think in this day and age, though, there's an added level of fluff, ceremonial circumstances, things that fighters need to go through. Added pressure for Haney.
Yeah, it can be, but it also is a bit of motivation, right? Sometimes you need that pressure. It takes you to the next level when you want to make the fans happy, when you want your family, whoever's in town, to be proud of your performance, right? So sometimes pressure, you need it. There are a lot of great fighters like Canelo Alvarez always tells us, I love pressure, I need pressure. So this might catapult him to another level.
Right, it's an individual thing, and you'll never know until the night of the fight anyway. You know, and I think there's certain things that make certain fighters, you know, feel pressured. Either hometown, maybe fighting for a title in another place, or maybe fighting in a different place. You know, people thought Anthony Joshua going to America, fighting in Madison Square Garden, shook up his nerves a little. Who knows if that was it, you know? So you never really know. It's always individual.
I tell you what, Devin Haney, Bill Haney, whether or not it's real, only they know, because they do a great job at the smack talk, the gamesmanship, the building up of the fight. So does the Prograis camp. This has been a terrific build-up fight, but with Devin Haney specifically, there's always little sprinkles of something that he's able to drop close to fight night. Last week, it's him giving up the lightweight titles. All of them are now vacant. What'd you guys make of that?
Well, listen, if you know the history of Devin Haney and his father, I mean, he pretty much promoted him until he signed a deal with Matchroom. Like, they did it on their own, so they understand self-promotion. They understand showmanship. They understand what do you need to promote a big fight, right? So, yes, there might be some showmanship added to it, but I think there's authentic animosity as well. We know from the Regis Prograis side, it's probably a little more authentic, right? They're from New Orleans, they're mean, they want to fight. Devin wants to do the same, but he understands that this is a business and this fight has to be sold via pay-per-view, not only in the venue.
So New Orleans people are mean. Is that what you're saying? That's exactly what you just said.
That's what I heard.
I've been to New Orleans.
Wow. Okay, listen. To answer your question about the belts, Devin Haney relinquishing the belts, I think that's a great thing. I think, don't fool us. You know, we know you've been complaining about 135 before you fought Lomachenko. You know, and you want to be a champion at 140. Why hold those belts hostage? Let the other guys who's willing to stay down there at 135 fight for it. So I think that's a great thing. It opens up the door for other fighters.
Now, he did that and then did go on to say that the best fight in boxing is still him against Tank Davis. Well, that happened at another weight?
That's a smart thing for him to say. You know, he's just saying, all right, I'm not going to have my leverage now. Because with Tank, it's like, why am I fighting you? You know, he gets to pick whoever the hell he wants to fight. So he's like, okay, me relinquishing the belts, I hope that doesn't mess up my chances with Tank. I hope I'm next in line. So you know he has to say that. He has to say, just remember, Tank, me and you are the biggest fight.
He doesn't even have to say that, Barack. You and I both know that this game is based on names, right? He's one of the biggest names, whether it happens at 137, 140, 142. Right. All of those guys eventually, and I'm predicting it here, right? I don't make many predictions, but I'm going to predict.
You're always making freaking predictions.
But I'll predict that the Devin Haneys of the world, Shakur Stevensons, the Teofimo Lopez, the Ryan Garcias,
right,
they're going to fight each other. The Gervonta Davises at some point. I'll be so disappointed if all of those fights don't happen.
I almost don't want them to fight each other just so you could be wrong. Almost.
You're lying.
Right, you're right. But there's only 2 other names besides Devin anyway that are at that level. So basically, he has to fight him eventually.
All right, Regis Prograis in this promotion, we've seen the build-up. He is the champion. Technically, he should be treated like the A fighter here.
I mean, with his name first, you mean?
Right. But okay, scale of 1 to 10, guys, both of you.
Okay.
If you, on a 1 to 10 scale, how underappreciated, how disrespected would you feel if you were Regis Prograis?
See, if I say something, then I'm going to be disrespecting the promotion on what they're doing to Regis, so I'm not going to say it. But I won't say that he should feel disrespected. I think that he understands that, look, Devin has been a part of some big fights. He went to Australia twice. He became undisputed. He fought Lomachenko. He was on that Matchroom banner, was waving the Devin Haney flag high. So it's safe to say that Devin is a bigger star. Regis understands that. It's not only about titles. So I don't think he feels disrespected. I think he's on the billboards. He's in the promo pieces. He's just maybe not as popular. So I don't see no disrespect this week.
No, not at all. All the accolades that he just named, that makes sense. Forgive me for bringing up Floyd Mayweather, but it didn't matter if you had a title, didn't matter if you was a champion, if you're more accomplished. Floyd
You're
was
not
more
forgiven.
accomplished.
You always bring up Floyd Mayweather.
No, whatever. But him being undisputed, Devin Haney being undisputed at lightweight, Devin Haney being undefeated, and just a bigger name in the sport. It is what it is, rightfully so. Even Regis says that he hates that his name is not as big as he feels that it should be. So the bigger name usually goes first for promotional reasons. So I think Rigorou is like, oh, you know what? I understand that. Doesn't matter.
And with all that being said, Regis has an opportunity on Saturday night to really propel his name to where he wants it to be.
And that's all that matters, because even if your name is first and you lose, you did nothing.
So who does come out on top Saturday? How do they do it?
Well, look, I think that Devin's size and his jab will be key in this fight, right? If he's able to, obviously he's bigger than Regis, and we can see that on the face-off at the press conference, but if he uses his jab and his length and his footwork to stay away from Regis's power, Regis has shorter arms. He needs to be in a pocket and a line of fire to land those big shots. So I would say that Devin, his game plan, the keys to victory, you know, a la your guy,
Evans?
No.
Bill Haney.
My God.
Bill Haney.
No. Keys to victory. We was just talking about it earlier.
Al Bernstein.
Al Bernstein. Cool. You know, I want to pay homage to him. But I think the jab, foot movement, and keeping the distance, right?
Right.
Now, for Regis, obviously, is a way to break through to that, right? So cutting the ring off when Devin moves his feet and moves around with the jab, getting inside that jab to land those big body shots. I think that's his keys to victory. I'm not going to give you a prediction right now.
I mean, I don't give predictions, but I could tell you one thing, that Evans is not the coach. And he's saying, you know, we're going to knock you out, we're going to do this. And then Bill Haney, who is the coach, is saying, we're going to knock you out. But Evans is also saying, you know what, you run all your fights. That's definitely not true.
Here's another question.
You really watched Devin Haney.
But here's another question, because you just brought it up. Who exactly is the lead coach for Regis Prograis? Is it Bobby Benton or is it Julian Chua?
Well,
it's a great question.
I thought it was Julian Chua. I thought he became in the lead coach in that spot. I'm not sure, but he did say that he usually just goes at the end of his camp back to LA to train Regis. And now he was saying he did this maybe eight weeks already. You know, so I guess Julian Chua is running the thing. But he's soft-spoken, but it made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense for him not to be the lead coach just at the press conference, you know? So whether he was a gigolo or
male dancer
or whatever they said he was, he's good for this promotion.
Yes,
Evans, he is.
For sure.
He definitely brought the supporting act to the table. All the questions are going to be answered Saturday night here in San Francisco on DAZN and DAZN pay-per-view in the U.S. and Canada. Regis Prograis going up against Devin Haney. Join us for more of the DAZN Boxing Show presented by AutoZone.